Do you miss me? Kawhi Leonard back in his old stomping grounds as the Los Angeles Clippers invade San Antonio to take on Keldon Johnson and the Spurs. In the first quarter, Spurs got some fight to them. Jeremy Sohan with the putback jam. Other end, it's Kawhi Leonard just abusing Sohan. Look, I think Jeremy's going to be a fine defender in this league one day. Kawhi Leonard said not today, though. Paul George down the lane. He got a throwdown jam to go. PG was in his assist bag, though, in this one. More on him in a second. But first things first, shout out my Vol for Life brethren. We definitely went to UT at the same time. It's Josh Richardson with 3 of his 17 points. Look at the hustle from San Antonio. Malcolm Brandon with the reverse finish. Reverse. Kawhi on the other end, looking at Jakob Poeltl like, gotcha. And he blows past Poeltl and throws it down. 13 of 18 from the field for Kawhi. Sohan on the other end with a throwdown of his own. Spurs put up 72 points on the Clippers in the first half, just out hustling Los Angeles every step of the way. Johnson, 23 points. You see the strongest deuce of them all. Third quarter, more Johnson attacking the rim. Somehow, some way for his team. Johnson made a play. The Spurs are up 6 on the Clippers. Here's when Kawhi and PG and Norman Powell said enough of that. George had 16 points, 12 assists. That one to Leonard, who had a marvelous game, 4 or 5 from the three-point line. Also, Norman Powell putting in some work. 26 points for Powell. Clippers making that last push here in the home stretch of this basketball game. George up top to Leonard. Kawhi puts his former team away in a tune of 36 points. That's a season high. Also grabbed 4 boards, had 7 assists. The Clippers avoid the upset. They beat the Spurs by 5. I do wonder who misses who more. Does Kawhi Leonard miss San Antonio? Let's not forget he did win a championship with the Spurs. Kawhi wasn't in the limelight anywhere near where he is now with the Clippers. When Kawhi Leonard was a San Antonio Spur, Greg Popovich rested him a lot. Obviously, we know towards the end of that bad boy, Kawhi didn't trust the San Antonio Spurs medical staff. It went all to hell at the end of that bad boy. But I want to just kind of put this in perspective for the sake of this conversation, right? Not a lot of attention. The Spurs always put a competitive unit around Kawhi. A strong case that can be made. I forgot what year this was, but remember that first round series when Zaza Pachulia undercut Kawhi? Remember, that was game 1 against the Warriors. The Spurs were blowing that game wide open and were about to win game 1 in San Francisco and take home court. A strong case could be made if the Spurs win game 1 and Kawhi doesn't go down with injury. They win that series. Again, I don't know, but that Kawhi was hooping that year until the Warriors injured him. So you add those things up with the fact that Kawhi didn't want to play in Toronto. We'll do another video on Kawhi and does he miss Toronto? But keep in mind, he didn't want to play in Canada. Obviously, I do believe Kawhi was more, willing to play in Texas than he was out of the country in Canada. Hence, he gave the Spurs more years of his career than the Raptors. So I'm looking at this Clippers thing and thinking this is a disaster. I know Kawhi gets to helicopter into the games and he doesn't practice much. I wonder deep down, though, does Kawhi Leonard miss the San Antonio Spurs, or does he look at them? What does Charles Barkley call the Spurs or San Antonio? He says they got big old fat women that love Cheerios, right, or something along the lines of that. I wonder, does he look at the Spurs as his ex-girlfriend that did nothing but gain weight after they broke up and they did nothing but fall off? Like, does he miss San Antonio? What it provided for him? He was always able to rest. They were pretty much in contention once every few years, which allowed him to not have really expectations on himself. Or does he enjoy what he's doing in Los Angeles? Hey, He still ain't winning